Welcome to episode 19 of How to CE5, where over the course of 21 episodes, we're covering 21 basic things for you to do so that you can be a great CE5 ambassador and make contact with ETs. I'm Andre Cardoso, and today we'll be talking about the question of using mind-altering substances within the context of CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And I'll say right off the bat, I recommend you do not use any mind-altering substances for CE5. When I refer to mind-altering substances, I'm referring to things we might put into our bodies that have a significant psychoactive impact. This can range from high caffeine drinks to psychedelics and everything in between. The ones that I get asked about the most are alcohol or marijuana. Some people feel like marijuana helps them relax. I'm not here to cramp on you as a person or what you choose to do. I would say from my perspective that regular meditation itself is usually a much better and healthier alternative to something that has such a strong chemical reaction for us. I will say that in CE5 that an exception that I might consider is if you are on any medication that are prescribed by a medical or health professional. Non-THC CBD products that may be a part of dealing with a regular health issue should be fine. My main point is that we should not be using anything to be ingested or smoked to try to enhance our CE5 work. It is work, and it is important, and consistently treating the idea of CE5 as a personal trip or like a party trick will not do you any good and will not allow for the establishment of the type of relationship development that we're looking for with CE5. This is not about having a personal trip, but about a sense of communion, grounded in clarity and calmness between us as group members, if we're doing this in a group, and between us, humanity, and these beings who are traveling light years to be with us and to spend time with us. So I think it's a way of showing respect is to show up clear and coherent to work on these relationships, these fundamental steps that we're taking at this time to establish a more permanent relationship between humanity as a civilization and these other starfaring civilizations. Now I'm going to outline 3 reasons why you should not use mind-altering substances for CE5. Number 1, it makes your whole experience less credible to others. And I think credibility is a super important thing with this initiative of Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Using mind-altering substances could make you delusional and not be able to distinguish between genuine, verifiable ET contact, which we're interested in, and hallucinations, which we're not interested in. Some drugs can also have a negative effect by increasing levels of fear and paranoia, and that is the last thing we want when going out to make peaceful contact with ETs. Think of it as meeting someone who you have the potential to build a lifelong relationship with, and for whom you would like to make a good impression on. At the very least, it's just a common courtesy not to be high on drugs. Number 2, your skills in navigating the field of consciousness will improve much more quickly and with much more clarity if you hone your meditation practice, which is free from psychoactive substances. Now, I'll tell you from personal experience that when I moved away from using alcohol or other drugs recreationally and started meditating more, I experienced a huge benefit to myself in my health and in my outlook on life and my way to deal with the realities of everyday life. And I really recommend to use meditation and other counseling or other different health practices like some of the ones that I mentioned in the last episode on self-care in the context of CE5. I'll leave a link to that in the description for this episode as well. It's better to use some of these other avenues of dealing with life, some of these healthier processes for dealing with the challenges of life than resorting to alcohol or drug use. Number 3, your group. Your working group, your fieldwork group for CE5 will be much more coherent if you're all sober, and group coherence is the key element that results in high-quality contact experiences that can be documented and built upon. I've got an episode all about group coherence, and I'll say right now that anybody who is high on anything, whether it's caffeine or whether they're drunk or whether then they're high on psychedelics or something like that, will disrupt any sense of group coherence. We want to all be sober and being able to communicate with each other clearly and understand each other and be on the same page and able to really share in the experience, because that enhances everything. Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you found it useful. We're getting close to the last few episodes of this series, so if you haven't already, I encourage you to go back and listen through all of the episodes in this How to CE5 series. I put a lot of work into this. I hope that this really cements some groundwork education to spread this movement even further. If you would like to see some more tips about how to form a CE5 group and more on meditation, equipment, and logistics, download the free CE5 Basics PDF from the website ce5podcast.com. I'd also like to remind you that there is a great app out now called CE5 Contact, where you can get up to speed with CE5 and even find people in your local area to do this with. You can find that in your mobile app store. Just search for CE5 Contact. I'd also like to remind you that this podcast is a labor of love that I've been putting together in my spare time. If you would like to support my work and keep this show on the airwaves and even get some more awesome new episodes out there, go to ce5podcast.com/team. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.